Unpopular opinion, but Baki has the best father in all of anime. I mean, what other show has a father that affectionately pummels their son into the ground and neglects the other? Compared to other shows like Invincible and Berserk, we can definitely say that Yujiro is a model father, and like all great fathers, he made sure to traumatize his kids and abandon them. But aside from the whoopies and domestic abuse that Yujiro hands out, he's actually a good and reasonable guy if we ignore the fact that he raped a few men and women and his overall past. Even before Baki was born, Yujiro displayed his incredible talent at being a good and responsible father and husband. After defeating all of the United States, Yujiro would meet a baddie in which he kindly and nicely asked if he could smash. He made sure to let her know that he was a gentleman by sending her to the astral realm.
Ain't nobody
worried about you, bro. You ugly, nigga. I lied. Don't move. Don't move, it's over. You thought I was just gonna watch you walk around here thick every day? You looking thick every day with no consequences? No consequences for your dick?
If you still are convinced that Yujiro is a stand-up guy, then this definitely will. Thanks to Yujiro, Baki's entire childhood was full of mishaps. Like his own mother, who Yujiro neglects, sees him as a little version of Yujiro, so she starts making out and flirting with him. His whole entire family is pretty much a mess, and all Yujiro can think about is how he can't wait to put his hand on his son Baki when he's older. The only reason why Baki was born was pretty much to entertain Yujiro, who is literally the strongest creature on the planet. During the scuffle between Baki and his friend Hanma, who looks like an average Netflix teenager, by the way, they are both 15. The match between the two would end with Baki taking the dub. They shook hands and applauded each other, but like the good father Yujiro is, he jumped off a helicopter like James Bond, appeared out of nowhere and started absolutely annihilating and crippling Baki's friend Hanayama, and then proceeded to pick his ass up with one hand and begin to manhandle both of the teenagers in front of everyone. If that's not a good father, I don't know what is. When Baki and Jack Hanma were in a fierce battle to see who would be the champion of a shady underground fighting organization, in which Baki would absolutely annihilate Jack. After the fight, Jack would pretty much encounter Yujiro. Judging by Yujiro's face, we can see that he has a lot of nice things to say. Maybe even congratulate his son Jack, who fought his heart out. The nice things he had to say was pretty much how much of a disappointment Jack was to the Hanma family, and then proceeded to send Jack to the astral realm.
You dishonor the Hanma name, you failure! Don't walk away from me!
Man, shut your bitch ass up!
I forgot to say that this is the first time Jack has ever seen his father Yujiro, because Yujiro just decided to grape a woman and then leave to get the milk and never return. Maybe that's why Jack was so excited to see Yujiro that he straight up leaped towards him with his mouth open, maybe to give a big old kiss to his dear father Yujiro.
The finale would be me caving in your skull.
Everything I've done my whole life has been for one reason, to earn my father's love. But today, I hate my father.
Yujiro is so loved by his two sons that they actively try to attack him whenever they see him. They even tremble with joy whenever he's around, and it looks like he raised them well because one of them has daddy issues and takes steroids, while the other has been traumatized because Yujiro killed his mother right in front of him and also has daddy issues. Like all good fathers, whenever one of his sons act out, he makes sure to leave them on the brink of death to really assert his authority. While some of you might have alcoholic fathers, Baki has a father that just wants to dish out an ass beating whenever he has the chance. It looks like Baki has also learned from his father because when a child decided to challenge him, he decided to teach him a lesson the same way his father did by smacking the ass and sending him flying. Pretty much, Yujiro is a role model for all fathers because look at his sons. They definitely don't have issues and they definitely don't resent him.
He's on the attack!
Also, what the fuck is going on with Jack? He looks possessed, and I think he should be locked up in a psych ward because it looks like his moments from turning into one of those demons from Doom. Aside from Jack look like a space marine, he's actually a pretty sane guy. He's just a troubled kid like the rest of the kids these days, but he takes steroids instead of staying inside and playing games. Who knows why Jack is so angry all the time? Maybe it's because Yujiro doesn't give him enough love. That could be the reason why he's taking steroids and getting surgery to make himself 8 foot. All of this to seek his father's approval and make him proud.
Well, Father, I want you to make me some coffee. Come on. That'd be a really nice thing. Don't you think so? Coffee made by you?
On the extremely rare occasion, Yujiro has lunch with his son, Baki. This is actually one of the rare moments where Yujiro isn't pummeling his sons. Look at him itching to get his hands on Baki. As they finish lunch, Yujiro proposes that they should play rock, paper, scissors to decide who does the dishes. Baki chooses rock and Yujiro chooses scissors. Damn, okay, we get to see Yujiro in the kitchen for the first time, but nope. Yujiro's testosterone is so high that it's impossible for him to step into the kitchen or prepare food for himself. So Yujiro crushes his son's hand and uses scissors to demonstrate that while the show might be named after Baki, the show itself revolves around the strongest creature, which is Yujiro. Yujiro is such a good father that he took his son Baki out to a fancy restaurant and then proceeded to beat him after Baki disrespected him. This whole fight got me rethinking my entire life choices because it's the most insane and diabolical thing I've ever seen in my life. I watched this shit on 2 times speed and could not stop laughing. But pretty much, if there's no domestic abuse in the family, then it really isn't a family, right? If you and your dad aren't throwing hands on a daily basis and trying to assert dominance over each other, can you really call yourselves father and son?
And to instead willfully expose them to the blade. That is not a fighting art, nor a martial art, but something else entirely. A test of strength, a test of masculinity.
Yujiro is not only a good father, but also a good husband. Yes, he did grape and pretty much force both of the women into conceiving his child, but it's Yujiro. What can you do? He's done that to men as well, so everyone is fair game to Yujiro, so you can't call Baki sexist. When Yujiro first met Jack Hanma's mother, he was in Vietnam handing the Americans' asses back to them, in which he met a MILF, and at this time, Yujiro was a virgin. At least, that's what they want you to think. Yujiro's testosterone is so high that even though he's never been with a woman, he is the least virgin man on earth. Actually, his testosterone is so high that everyone else is a virgin. So he slapped the girl up for teasing him and then proceeded to grape her like how any gentleman would. And like every good father, he disappears and returns many years later to call Jack a disappointment. For Baki's mother though, Yujiro just forcefully kissed her before murdering a guy right in front of her. And when Baki's mother went back to her room and began arguing with her husband, Yujiro broke in and asserted his dominance by snapping the guy's neck and telling her that she was gonna bear him a child named Baki. And that's how Baki was born. If you guys are into any type of strength training or martial arts, I recommend you go check out my 60 kg and 100 kg gripper down in the description.